Captain. You ready? Captain.
What the? I guess I'm the captain now. Proceed.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Hello, my darlings.
How are you tonight? Today, this afternoon, whenever you are receiving this broadcast. What are you doing, Cat? Jesus. As soon as I start the show, he starts like digging in a bag.
You have a cat named Jesus?
Have you accepted Jesus as
No,
your
it's
personal
Casper.
savior?
Of course, it's Casper, but
Of course it's Casper.
Dude, that cat is the best. He's definitely like one of my top 5 cats I've ever met. The cat is the man.
he's cool, except when he does shit like this.
Yeah.
All right, if he's just gonna stay, don't make noise. Okay, you'll be cool. Well, yeah. What's up, everybody? What up, G3?
Good.
What up, Monster?
What up, brother? G3.
You know,
All good. Yay for
all
Tuesdays.
good. Yeah, man. Ready for the best night of the week.
Yeah.
Chat with my gromies, hang out, smoke some bongs.
Rolling with
Smoke
the
some bogs. You
Gromies.
sound like a total noob. Smoke some bogs.
Why? What do you say?
Do some bong hits.
Do some bong rips?
Smoke some bones.
Smoke some
Smoke some
bongs.
bongs.
I don't know, man.
That's all right.
I am
guess they do it
anything but a
differently up there
noob,
in
sir.
PA. Oh, I know that. That's why it caught me off guard.
But I could see why you'd say that. But yeah, tonight, freshly ground out the
Grinder.
grinder. Yeah,
There you go.
and also fresh out the dry tent and out the grow tent. So like super fresh weed. I think that's like such a luxury we have nowadays as compared to like the old days when shit, man, the stuff we get from God knows where and God, who only, like the people we'd get it from, like who knows where they got it and how long it's been sitting there.
Yep. And what it is, and if it's clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, tonight got fresh weed. It's Naptown from Night Owl.
The great owl himself. What's the lineage on that? Do you know?
So it's a really complicated one. Oh my God, I'm just gonna lose it with this cat. Hold on. I gotta leave the screen for a sec. I
Oh,
apologize.
Casper. Why can't you just behave?
All right. Very sorry about that. Animals. What can you do? So, it's a pretty complicated lineage, G3. If I recall correctly, it is, and I will be looking it up while I try to remember. It's got strawberry milk and cookies in it. It's got Ripley's OG in it. It's got some other stuff in it, too.
It's like everything in the kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm. So,
I guess
to be
I wasn't muted.
precise, it is Ripley's OG, specifically the 2015 Alien Tech phenotype, crossed with Tyrone Stomper, crossed with strawberry milk and cookies.
Did it carry any of the characteristics from Ripley's? Because that's the only one I've tried.
So, interestingly enough, not really. I think Ripley's, when they use that in their breeding, Ripley's is their size.
I was just gonna say the same
Attitude.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Ripley's gets big. Nice golf ball nugs, that sort of structure. But everything I'm getting terp wise with this one and effects is it just leans in that Tyrone Stomper strawberry milk and cookies realm where it's like it's very zesty, like fruity. It's got a strawberry like orange kind of vibe going on.
All right.
You know, a fruity one for sure. And it's definitely sticky, not like sandy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super sticky nugs. And, unfortunately, I will say, let me take the bong rip first.
Cheers, motherfucker.
Ah, right to the brain. It's like fuel for the soul, my friends. But I will say that the taste does not carry over as much as I'd like it to.
Well, maybe it will in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're right. Like
Right, she's
it's
not
it's
cured,
still
right?
fresh.
She's
Yeah,
just
it's super
dry.
fresh. Like the curing process definitely like brings out certain terpenes and volatilizes off others, and like yeah, what you're left with after 3-6 months is definitely not the same thing you had in your jar the week after harvest, which is like for better or worse sometimes.
Yeah, it's the difference between grape juice and wine.
Yeah, precisely. So yeah, we shall see what comes out when properly cured. But for now, yeah, fruity.
Oh my god.
You're a brave man to go after a strain called Naptown for a show night.
Well, yeah. If I lapse into sudden unconsciousness, you'll know. You'll know why. This gives me a narcolepsy during the show. But no, I've been known to honestly, unless it's something really, really special, I find it all just kind of blends into one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
All right, Masa, what do you got?
Smoking on some anaphylaxis tonight. You know me, I'm a creature of habit.
It's been a little while though since you've
Yeah,
had that.
it is. It is. I keep a lot of the same. Dude, is that? Are you hearing that? My
Yep.
neighbor's dogs again. I'm gonna
Yep, I can hear
fucking
'em
flip
tonight.
my shit, dude. They don't start until I'm on a podcast.
It's the animals just going nuts tonight. Mercury still in retrograde?
Yes.
Wasn't there like a blue moon, like a super blue moon?
Yes.
What is
Last
that?
night and actually shadow periods into tonight. So yes.
Oh shit! The animals know it.
Yep.
So
It's crazy.
wait, monster. What is anaphylaxis like again? What is that like?
So
Smoke like?
it was a Thug Pug collab by Mass Medical. It's peanut butter breath crossed with deadly sativa. But I would say that what I really like about this one is it's really balanced indica hybrid for me anyway. You get a lot of that peanut butter breath effect balanced with that deadly sativa.
Nice.
And it's a good match. It the only thing I will say about it is it it's really really fluffy. So when you take a nug out to break it up, and it usually need to grab a little bit more than you think you would because it doesn't break up quite as well as a lot of the other stuff I've grown. But I like it, man. It's a good. It's not like my favorite, but I definitely like it. And y'all know I like to fuck with a lot of mass medical stuff.
I do, man. I saw his new TKOG he's got coming out, man. That looks incredible.
Doesn't fucking yeah, Outcast has a strain called
Oh
TKOG.
wait, was it TK? Or was it was Triangle Kush?
Oh, the Triangle
So,
Kush,
yeah.
yeah. I'd like to try his cut. of Triangle. The the stuff I the stuff I just finished growing was a fucking pain in the ass, and all his plants look perfect. So I don't
Mm,
know. I'd definitely be interested to see what's going on there.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, what about G3? What she got tonight?
G3 has nothing tonight. G3 is on day
Nothing.
7 of a tolerance break.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
really?
So it was rather unintentional. I got really sick after the last show,
Oh
and I was
no.
horribly ill like Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh Jesus
And
Christ.
by Friday, I realized that I hadn't smoked anything in 3 days. And
Mm-hmm.
probably part of me feeling as shitty as I was due to THC withdrawal because I am a very heavy
Yeah.
consumer. And if you just stop cold turkey for 3 days, it's going to affect you. So
By
by
that
that
third
point,
day, for sure.
yes, by that point, I was already into like serious business, night sweats, couldn't eat, just like couldn't regulate my temperature,
Yep.
really clammy hands, like just feeling
Can I
awful.
tell you something? I
Yes.
think that was a bug going around because I had those same exact symptoms last week. I was fucked up for like over a week, confused, like the whole 9 yards. I was all fucking weird.
Yeah, there definitely
Sweats.
was a weird ass bug going around. I do think that a lot of this, I mean, it could have definitely been multifaceted,
Yeah.
but
Holy
there
It
was
shit.
sounds like it started
definitely
as a
withdrawal
bug.
going through. Yes, it did. It started as a bug. And then by Friday, I was like, why do I feel so awful?
Because
Well,
it's been 3 days, four
my
days since you
endocannabinoid
smoked
system's
some.
very
Yeah.
used to being fed
It's
regularly, and
short
she was
circuiting.
not. So I figured I had already gotten through the worst part of it. I haven't taken a tolerance break in years. So I for now I am on a tolerance break. It could
Good.
end tomorrow.
Okay.
It could end, 20 days from now. I have no idea. But for right
Could
now,
could end
I'm on a
20
tolerance
minutes
break.
from now too, or
It
just
definitely could.
kind of
It's
whenever
just
you feel.
yeah, for the moment this feels right. I
Okay.
This year has been really rough. To get a little vulnerable with you guys. This
I
year has
feel
been
you.
really hard. And I thought it was a good idea since I was kind of forced into it anyway to take a moment to see things from a slightly different perspective. So we're
There's
going to
nothing
give
wrong.
this a go and hopefully it works.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with
So,
that. People will break your balls over it, but they can go fuck themselves.
yeah, I would not, if anybody is considering doing a tolerance break, I would not recommending doing it the way that I did it. It is painful.
Well, how else do you do it? And if
So
not cold
there are lots of
turkey,
ways. So
we're
you can
starting from like a.
slowly decrease or start adding in CBD instead of just straight THC, or start smoking one-to-ones for a little while and just bring your overall THC consumerism down just a titch. A tolerance break doesn't have to be zero THC. It just
True.
has to be less than what you're normally giving your body, because the whole point of this is as you build up a tolerance, your receptors become less sensitive, and it takes more and more and more to kind of get you to where you want to be. And I wasn't getting to the point where I was getting high anymore. It was just bringing me back up to even keel.
Mm,
And that is not a fun place to be. So,
I
tolerance break.
respect that, and
Yay.
also, yeah, like sometimes, like you said, to see your life from like a little bit of a different perspective. Sometimes, yeah, like if you're going through some stuff, it can help to clear your mind a little bit and like actually kind of feel the emotions that you're going through. Like
Mm-hmm.
again, for better or worse, like whether they're good or bad ones, you're really gonna feel them, and it'll prompt you to take action and fix whatever's wrong or who knows. But yeah, how long? Like I find that like just purely for a tolerance break, like if you were, you know, like just what it's called. Like I'm taking a break to build up a little bit, well, to lose a little bit of tolerance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then next time you smoke, you get super high. Like, I mean, I really find that takes its full effect after like 5 days.
Yes, I would say I aim for minimum of a week. Like I'd say 7 days, and my body's starting to feel like it's pretty well cleared out. But a good 30 for me is a good reset. Some people, it takes 6 months for the full effects of it to leave their body. So it really depends on each person. Every endocannabinoid system is different. You know, we're all just a bunch of cute little THC snowflakes.
Exactly. Do you think you'd have clean pee at this point or no?
No, probably not. No, they say it takes like a while for that to get out, but you can speed up the process by exercising. That definitely helps
Interesting.
reset your transmitters a little bit faster. So, because THC is fat soluble, gets stored in your fat.
Oh, so by like burning the fat, you're
You're
losing
pushing it out of the
THC.
system.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Yeah, you'll also get high from doing that too.
Will you get like a little bit of the residual effect of the THC as it like
Yeah,
I don't know.
re-metabolizes a
that's
little
what
bit
I've heard.
and like kind of like you probably wouldn't get high from it, but it might,
It might
I
give
don't
you some
know,
of the
do
benefits of
something.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Might stop your endocannabinoid system from short circuiting. Error. Error. No weed in 5 days.
Why is mommy trying to eat her ear?
ECEDS.exe has stopped working.
Well, I'm glad you've gotten through the worst part of it. That's always like
Thank you.
the
It
3
was
days.
brutal.
Tough.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
But like you said, you started off like with a bug, so you got like a little head start. You were already most of the way through it, so just fucking go
Oh,
for it.
yeah. I was smack dab in the middle of withdrawal misery. So at that point, it's like I can either smoke something now. And at that point, I was still very ill. So I would like have hacked up a lung. It would have made me feel terrible just to bring me back up to baseline. And I was like, honestly, it's not good enough anymore.
I feel that.
The shitty thing is, my Peak Pro arrived on Wednesday.
Yeah, you were just so excited about that. I
So
remember.
excited. It's
You're-
sitting upstairs in the pie safe.
I gotta be honest with you. There's no way I could have that kind of self control. It would end instantly because I'd want to play with my new toy.
Yep, it's hard to do.
tolerance
But
for
I know
and
that I
weight.
won't be able to appreciate it. So like I don't know if this was part of this illness or not, but like I lost hearing in my right ear and I lost all sense of taste. I don't think it was COVID. I think it was something different, even though the whole taste thing makes you think, it's COVID. No, I don't think it was COVID, but I did lose sense of taste. And honestly, if the entire point of smoking extracts is that it's supposed to be like just like flour, but no plant matter, it's just I want to be able to experience the full flavor. So I feel like I would be cheating myself if I did it now.
Fair.
Yeah.
All fair. Fair
Yeah.
points.
Absolutely.
Well, we will the weed will be right there waiting for you when you come back. Just
Yes,
don't go
it
like
will.
quitting for good on us.
Oh
That's,
God, Jesus, no.
don't become
No,
one of
this is
those.
just so honestly, part of it is so I can appreciate the plant more again. Before it was just like I was missing the pleasure of it. It was just like part of my life. All right, hit a bong real fast, run up and play with the kids. Hit a bong real fast, run out the door and go grocery shopping. Hit a bong real fast, run out the door and go to work. Like it was just this boom, 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 boom part of my life. And I want that ritual back. I want the experience back. I want to like sit down and enjoy what I'm doing again. So part of that is the perspective shift.
As I light another joint.
Yeah, I was just kind of feeling a little bad as I smoked my bong.
No, absolutely not. Like God knows I am definitely a smoker. Just because an artist isn't creating art at that very moment, it doesn't stop them from being an artist.
All right, good.
So
Well, she still understands and appreciates all the medicinal benefits. Just
oh my
currently
God, you
not
guys are
using them.
acting like weed
she's
forever.
lost at
It's
sea,
been
guys. I
7
don't know. I
days.
think we're gonna lose her if we don't reel her back in real quick
Oh
here.
my god.
Throw out the life
Some,
jackets.
somebody
So
get this girl
melodramatic.
high pronto. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I think it's great. Honestly, I think it's great.
You like my homemade Band-Aid? Look, it's on the perfect finger too.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. Electric tape, nothing works better.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
homemade band-aids, just like
Ah, dude, like when you're on, you cut yourself and you're doing something, fuck Band-Aids. I just grab electric tape and maybe a
word.
napkin if it's a heavy bleeder. You know? Just tape that shit. Good to go. Pour some rubbing alcohol on it. Fucking back to work.
Oh, Jesus.
you got to kill the germs.
Yeah. It only hurts for like 10 seconds after the rubbing
It's
alcohol.
that good burn.
Yeah.
Good burn.
Yeah.
Something wrong with you guys.
Yeah. How much time
Maybe.
you got, G3?
Maybe. But yeah, I wanted to talk like before we get into a little growing real quick. I wanted to divert into favorite munchy food.
Okay.
I don't know why I had that just as a topic idea. I don't know if we've ever talked about what foods we like to grub on when we're stoned. Now, this might not be the best episode for G3 to chime in on that.
I like food.
No,
I can appreciate food
playing.
even without weed.
How can we even listen to her when she's not high anymore, guys? Just jeez.
I'll just sit back here. You guys, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Sobriety detected. Opinion irrelevant. I'm just playing. My favorite stoner food, I think of all time. I'm a cereal junkie. I love cereal. Like I think if as like
Serial
a
killer.
snack, not a breakfast, but a snack. Cereal's a great way to go. Like when you're super high, right before bed, that last thing you do, a little bowl of cereal. And if we want to get specific, I'm a corn pops guy.
Hell yeah, dude. You're speaking my language. Corn Pops is killer.
Corn pops. Wasn't there like a Joe Biden speech where he's like, I had a friend named Corn Pop?
Yeah.
I don't know why that just. Oh man, I'm gonna miss that dude.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not.
gonna miss seeing that bumbling old man. Can't believe they did him dirty like that, dude. But anyway, yeah, corn pops, cereal. I don't know. What do you guys go to when you're looking in the fridge late at night?
I can crush a few yogurts, you know what I mean? But usually
Yeah,
I like
little
gummies, man.
cups.
Yeah,
Like
little
Dannon?
yogurt. Yeah. Twin Snakes is one of we talked about this before. Is one of my all-time faves. Anything Haribo, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Dangerous to be high around any bag of gummies.
Yeah.
It'll be gone, all of it.
Yep.
Some gummies are way better than others, though.
Well, yeah, Haribo
Even
Above.
shape-wise.
above all else. That's true. Shape goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about you, G3? Like, you got a favorite?
I do. It's a little obscure. You kind
Yeah.
of have to live. Well, so it's very specifically the buffalo pretzel pieces from Wegmans.
Buffalo.
Wegmans is a
pretzel.
grocery store
Yeah.
near where I live, and their like store brand stuff is pretty awesome most of the time. So they have these buffalo flavored covered pretzel pieces, and I'm not a huge fan of pretzels in general, but these things are killer.
Are they
So
soft
good.
or hard?
No, they're
pretzels?
hard.
All right, cool.
They're
cool.
hard,
D-
and
d-
they're like spicy, like almost uncomfortably spicy.
Don't
And I
you
just love
guys
that
have
it lights up
Snyder's
my
pretzels
dark little
there?
soul.
Oh,
These
yeah.
are a bajillion times
Yeah.
better.
Are you sure? Because Snyder's makes those as well.
Yes, I have tried
Okay.
every form of these buffalo pieces things, and all of them pale in comparison to Wegmans.
No shit. We got a Wegmans around here. I'm gonna have to try it
I
out.
don't know.
They're so
Yeah,
good. I like
Wegmans definitely
send
has
them
good
to
shit.
people. in
Interesting.
packages, and I'm like, you have to try these. You don't have a Wegmans near you. They're so good. Yeah, so that. And I'm very specifically into seasonal ice cream. So like there's one from Turkey Hill called Box of Chocolates that comes out around uh Valentine's Day, and there's like their peppermint around Christmas. So seasonal ice cream and spicy pretzels. That's my jam.
Ooh. You could do a pretzel cone with your ice cream. You ever do that?
Ooh, especially a spicy one.
Mm.
Mm,
That does sound pretty good, actually.
I could get in on that.
Mm. Yep, I like a little bit of salt with the ice cream and stuff. Yeah, that adds a lot. Um, Man, you're making me so damn hungry now. I want some ice cream, some Ben and Jerry's, Chunky Monkey. It's my go-to flavor. Um, so yeah, guys, growing.
I don't know. What about
That's
you
what
guys
we're.
in the chat? Tell us what you guys
Oh
like.
yeah, let's bring up some people's favorite food in the chat here.
Ooh, Matt Fratt likes bagels.
Peanut butter
I
Captain
totally love some
Crunch.
bagels.
Oh, bagels are amazing. You just don't always have like fresh bagels, though. I will go for some lenders every now and then.
Mhm.
Got yeah, peanut butter
Peanut butter and jelly.
jelly. Hell yeah.
Do you cut your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and do you cut them into rectangles, triangles, or squares?
If I'm making it for somebody, I'm gonna cut it into triangles. If I'm making it for myself, I just fucking hammer that shit.
All right.
Got Apple Jacks.
Apple
Yeah, I love Apple
Jacks.
Jacks, man. That's like
That's
a
a good
top.
one.
That's a top three cereal for me.
I'm
I'd
gonna
say.
throw one out there that hasn't been mentioned yet. It's honeycomb.
They changed the recipe, I think, man. You
Really?
know,
I haven't had it in a
so
while.
I thought honeycomb was like definitely top of the list.
Yeah.
Easily top five cereal.
Oh, I
Couple
thought you guys were
couple
talking
years
about like
ago.
real honeycomb, and I was like, oh yeah, I like
No, yeah,
honeycomb,
they
but no,
they
not the
changed
cereal.
them, man, for the worse too.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Unfortunately,
That doesn't
but
surprise me. Fucking scandemic and shrinkflation and cheaping out on this and that.
man, but yeah, we're what a we live in the golden age of stoner food, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
let's talk growing a little bit, shall we? That's what
Sure.
everyone's here for anyway. No, not to hear us talk about munching. So medium. I want to get into the synthetic side of things a little bit.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. I did that once upon a time.
I want to talk because I don't know if you guys know. I've been using a little bit of synthetic nutrients on my clones that I got going right now.
Do
It's
tell.
kind of a situation calls for such a tool to be used. So I have these mother plants. I guess I'll call them. Just they were clones that are growing. They're not big because they're in 1 gallon pots. I have the light on very dim, so like they're growing slowly, doing their thing, but like well out of nutrients. We're 8, 9 weeks after transplant, so like they're well past the point of like using up all the organic goodness that was in that 1 gallon of soil. You know, if I'm being real, it lasted probably 4 or 5 weeks, maybe
That sounds about
6.
right for a clone.
Hmm.
So like
Yeah.
all I had to do was water and just sit back and do nothing for 6 weeks. But they start to look really shitty, man. Like all sorts of deficiencies. We got like woody purple stems and like the splotchy kind of calcium deficiency look. Super ugly. So I'm just I don't want to transplant them because what my intention is to like I'm gonna harvest my tent. I have clones of all 4 of my plants, right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna only keep one, the best one of the four. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
one that I like to smoke the best out of those four, I will keep. The rest of them can go fuck themselves. So I'll transplant that one, but only when I know what that one
Yeah,
is.
you can keep them alive and almost indefinitely like that way, as long as you're giving them some food and a little bit of light, not too much light because you don't want them to grow too fast. Um, a little bit of light, a little bit of food, and what size pot did you say it was in?
1 gallon.
Eh, I maybe if you weren't incorporating a little bit of cocoa into your mix, which you are, I'd say you might be in a little danger, because peat can get crowded quick, and I don't even really. I mean, I know cocoa's airy, but I've always thought that balance was a little off to me, and I've never understood completely why. But um, with cocoa, you definitely get away with that for a long fucking time. Even in soil, though, as long as you're keeping it fed and hydrated, it may not be super happy, but you could get it there when you need it to. I mean, dude, that's kind of how I run my shit. It's just the way that life goes, you know. You try to keep them as happy and healthy as possible, and especially before you take cuts. You wouldn't want to take cuts from a plant until it's, you know, happy and healthy, because the cuts are going to struggle,
Yeah.
and then you're just opening yourself up to problems, you know. Um, yeah, you'll be
we
fine.
look, all of our animals are like
It's a
losing
full
it today.
moon.
Those aren't. That's the thing. That's not
Freaking
my dog.
lunatics.
Zelda just looks at these dogs like they're fucking morons. She doesn't even bark back. She just looks at them like, "What is wrong with you guys?" And just walks in the house.
So I'm like, yeah, I mean, I think I have to go up and water every other day because like 1 gallon, even like a some cocoa in there, but mostly peat. I'd say the plants the size they are. I mean, I don't have to go water every day, but every other day I'm up there and I'm mixing nutrients now. You know, like doing the pHing and the whole deal. Like
Did you
that
mention which newts you're using?
Athena actually
Okay.
the liquid line that I got from Monster. I don't know back.
Forever ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
like
3 years
when
ago.
we met each other and
Yeah,
wore the same pair of shorts.
true story. I'm wearing those shorts right now.
Listen, man, like I had a mind to use them. Like I just never had like an opportunity because I've had this great soil that's been getting me by in all my situations, right? But here I am. I encountered a situation where I need some like quick. I need to get him some food. Top dressing just kind of won't cut it. It won't be enough. It won't act fast enough. I can't like. There's no room to top dress in a fucking 1 gallon pot. You know what I mean? So it's kind of new to me, honestly. I'm enjoying the process. So I don't know, I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, like the pHing, mixing. Like what do you mix first? What are you not supposed to mix first? I guess it's all line dependent, right?
Yeah, a lot of it's line dependent. I mean, um, like I use the Pro line, which is powdered. So it's just three parts, and you're only using two of those parts at a time. You're always using the core, which is basically your CalMag, and then you have the grow and the bloom. So it's pretty simple for me. I just weigh out. They say you should dilute it and mix it into like a liquid, and then use it like that way. And that's exactly why I hate bottled nutrients, because I hate like that whole measurement, like how many milliliters is it? Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well,
I
so what are you using then? Grams?
grams per gallon. So I just like, they have a chart that you can follow. Like, they since took this chart off their. See, that's like I've said it before. I've like a love hate with Athena, right? Like when they first came out, I was lucky enough to get the full pro line at one of the trade shows. I tried it, haven't looked back. The I've said it before. It just simply fucking works. Oh, this is all you need, right? And now, this product, that product, this product, their feed charts have gone up, as far as like, how much you can really push the plant. And I feel like that they're setting people up for failure with that because you got to have shit really dialed in if you're going to push your plants that hard. But that uh, I don't really want to get into that too much right now. The Pro line's just a lot easier to use for me. Grams per gallon. I mix my core. I dilute it with water. Mix it up. Throw it in the res. Take my bloom or my grow, whatever phase of grow I'm in, or if I'm fucking with autos, it's just bloom, and stir it up, throw it in, and then usually pH is pretty close. Um, Sometimes I have to add a little bit of down during early veg because there's just not really a lot of nutrients in the water to bring the pH down far enough. But in bloom, depending on the water source, there's times where I actually have to use pH up, and that's a different ball game because most pH ups you kind of want to add first. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah, see that's the part that like confused me when all right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring up a feed chart real quick. Because when you if you're gonna be using synthetic nutrients, you're gonna want to follow a feed chart, ain't you?
Yes and no. A lot of times, if you just the directions on the bottle will kind of get you to where you want to go, and then you can just dilute it from there.
I really feel
So
like synthetics are kind of like baking and organics is more like cooking, if that makes sense. Like cooking,
yes,
you measure with
cooking's
your heart a little
throwing
bit.
shit around. Yeah, like
Baking,
Swedish Chef.
A
Yeah,
plus B has to equal C, so things
correct.
need to be measured and specific.
Yeah,
You
see,
got to
Matt Fratt
measure.
kind
Yep.
of said it there, silica, right? So the silica that I use is the Athena Balance, which is basically it's a silica product. So you want to use that first in your water and get that mixed in and
So how?
let
Yeah,
it
but
sit
how
for
do
a
you
few
know?
minutes.
How do you know how much balance you're gonna need,
That's
or
a
if
great
any
question.
at all?
So that's a great question. Obviously, you're gonna have to add it last at the first watering or so to have an eye. You can add it last. You're just gonna be really slow and make sure it's diluted so it doesn't get your nutrients um out of balance and all fucked up. They'll start separating. But
All right. First of all, I
so
want to say too, like,
let me answer
as
your
an
question though.
organic guy, this is confusing as fuck too. Just
It's
looking at this.
it's really not once you boil it down. Now I can't really see it that well. Um, and plus that's the liquid
Here I
chart. I'm
can.
really not used to looking at it at all, to be
Whoa.
completely honest with you. But balance you would know, right? So after your first watering, you would measure your pH and then just keep track of how much you had to add, and then you'll have a rough idea and just add that your next on your next fill up.
So, like, the process of like trying to figure this shit out again as just coming at it like I've never done this shit before. I felt like a total noob. I'm
I
like,
can
all
help you
right,
break it down pretty quickly just
I
looking
got
at this.
everything is in. All right, this is the pro line without fade. All right, so again, you're like, I have the blended line without fade. Okay, Jesus Christ. All right, now we're on.
Yeah. This is what, like I said, like when they first came out, it was like, this is all you need. And now it's like this, that, fade, fucking, fuck you.
Yeah,
I don't need
and
any
then
of that
and
shit.
like again, there's grow A, there's grow B, there's
Yeah.
bloom A, there's bloom
Yeah.
B, there's PK, CalMag,
Yeah.
cleanse and balance. Altogether, that's 8 bottles
Yeah.
in this whole line. I'm looking at this chart, my head's spinning. Numbers, conversions, metric system. Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's actually pretty easy. They're telling you that, it's milliliters per 10 liters. So 10 liters is, a gallon is 3.78 liters. So a little over 2.5 gallons. See, but honestly, my head's already spinning as well. I mean, I could sit here and explain it to you, but it would it's really boring podcast material.
They gotta have one that's not in metric, dude.
This is
That's the problem.
this is why I like the grams per gallon,
There it is. There it is.
and it's just so much easier for me.
There it is. Milliliters per gallon. Again, again, this is just like you have to find the right feed chart and then you have to dissect it. Okay, so we're at milliliters per gallon. So I'm filling up my bucket.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Look, this is very interesting. This is something I've been preaching for a long time. Notice for their clone recommendations, they're recommending bloom newts,
Yes,
not grow
bloom,
newts.
A and B. I
I've been
saw
saying
that.
that for fucking years.
I thought you'd catch that actually. Isn't that interesting? Because they need
Uh,
phosphorus to grow roots.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've always used bloom newts for clones. Been preaching that for a long time.
but like a diluted,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
small amount of it.
yeah,
But
yeah. As you can see, I mean, based on their regular week one recommendations, they're talking 12 milliliters per gallon. So it's quite simple. Don't pay attention to bloom because you're not in bloom, or don't pay attention to grow because you're not in grow. So if you're in grow, it's equal parts A and B,
yep,
right?
correct. So like I mean, it is again, like you said, it's not that hard once you kind of figure it out. But I don't know, doing this my first time, it was confusing, man. And
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like looking like milliliters per gallon. Okay, so I'm filling up my bucket of water. I'm trying, and I'm like, I gotta measure how much is a gallon. Will
hmm
I even use that full gallon? Will I need more? So I like first batch I made two gallons. So I measured a like empty orange juice container 4 times, 2 gallons, and then I'm looking. It's they're clones. They're in veg. They're not like I wouldn't call them clones anymore. They're just vegging plants at this point. So I used grow A and B, right?
I would
11
lighten that mixture for what you're trying to do.
by how much?
So, like, if it's telling you to give them, I try to simplify things when I tell people to dilute newts. So, what I would do is just mix it at whatever strength they're telling you to mix it at, and then you just cut it.
All right, then just add water.
Yeah.
Word. Okay,
Like,
that's cool.
I'd go with, like, honestly, because you're growing in soil, which has a little bit of newts in it anyway, and you're just trying to keep these plants alive right now until you're ready to work with them. I bet
Yeah.
you could get away with half.
All right. Word. So yeah, like as I learned, I only need 1 gallon to do this full watering process. Now that I've done it a few times, so like I was using the full dose, 11 of A, 11 milligrams of A, 11 milligrams of B. Or I'm sorry,
Milliliters.
milliliters.
Yep.
And I should say too, I have this cool like it's called a newt needle.
Oh, you know what's funny? I'm pretty sure that company's from Massachusetts. I've been meaning to pick one of those up and try. I mean, I don't use liquid newts, but I heard the product's really cool.
If you don't want to get a newt needle, you can
Yeah,
also
I'll
just
bring
get
it up.
regular syringes off of like Amazon and then put Velcro on them and stick them to your bottles. That way you're not mixing up your
You
stuff.
can, but
Yeah.
sometimes without a tube, it's kind of hard to get to the bottom of those bottles. Um, I don't use
Yes, you don't
bottles
do like the
anymore.
tilt and
Yeah,
so easy.
it can be a little
So
messy.
easy.
It can be a little
Just
messy.
get a good Pyrex cup with visible milliliter markings on it, like something like
Yeah,
that for
yeah.
liquid nutrients, or just go for the powdered ones where you don't have to worry about this stuff.
Yeah,
But
and honestly, you're in soil, so you should take these numbers and definitely back them down a little bit. And
okay,
you probably won't even need pH up at that point. Even if you're using it in flour,
yes.
that's my guess. So
So what I noticed, man, is like I guess it's all like kind of an individual situation. As I'm using my Apera pen, my 5-in-1, finally getting to like break out these tools that I got myself. It feels good.
dude, those are great little pens for the money.
Yeah, it is cool. It is cool. I'm noticing that my pH is only going down to like 6.8 with the nutrients added. So I don't need a pH up. I'm not adding any balance. I have to add pH down.
Yeah, you might now pH down's fine to add after, but most pH ups you'd want to add first. Not all of them, just it seems most of them, and the Athena one in particular. I don't know if I gave you I'm pretty sure that kit had balance in it.
Yeah, it does, and
Okay.
that's because that one is like a silica. Is
Correct.
that what you
You'll
said?
see it as soon as you put it in the water, it clouds up. So you don't want that. It'll make your nutrients fall out of solution.
Oh, so is that like? I think I put it in last, like the first time, and I saw like little crystals
Yep, that's
at the
exactly what
bottom.
happens.
It
So your
looked like,
nutrients fell. Yep, it knocked your
wow.
nutrients out of solution. So you can add it last really, really slowly and heavily diluted. And you gotta, be mixing it or having a pump stirring it up while you're doing it. But
Oh man.
so the whole point is to try to get know how much you need, based on what you had to do last watering to achieve the number you're looking for, and then
Okay.
know that for the next time. Now, even if you don't need it, I will say that I think it's a pretty good silica product. Now, I haven't wanted to spend the money on like a Power SI, but heard nothing but good things about that. And from a science standpoint, it makes sense. The
So
monosilicic
expensive.
acid, it's just super expensive, and
Yeah.
I don't know
Power
if the
SI
juice
Yo,
is worth the
oh,
specifically.
so
squeeze.
Autopot just have, I'm pretty sure, has a new silica additive
Interesting.
that they were
Hmm.
just promoting. Just saying. I don't know. Another option. Might probably not as expensive. I know nothing about it. I just saw
Yeah.
an Instagram post. But so the pH thing, you know, like I don't know if I mentioned to you guys. I have this super strong pH down. It's called from like this company called Chem Boys, and it's like just straight up hydrochloric acid. I think
What?
it's
Now,
very it's maybe not quite that, but it's a very strong acid,
mhm.
and like I put maybe like an eighth of a shot glass in, maybe less than that. Like seriously, just a
Into
little
how much water?
into a gallon of water.
What, dude? Drops.
Well,
Drops.
yeah, a little. It was like a. That's what I'm saying. I had like a little bit in a cup, and I poured some out, just a few drops. Very like what I thought was a minimal amount. I checked that pH. It was at like 3.2.
Yep. Yeah.
An eighth of a shot
And
glass.
and here's the thing, that takes a little while
Yeah,
to
that was an
stabilize as well.
overestimation.
It takes a while to stabilize. So remember that when
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's
You got to
and
mix it up and
there's a
keep.
saying with pH down, especially when people are just using it for the first time. It's never enough until it's too much. And it's kind of like edibles. Like you add a little bit and you check, and you're like, you add a little bit and check, and you add a little bit and check, and then you're like, fuck. Dude, it even happens to me once in a while. I'm not gonna lie. Like I overshoot and I go down too much.
And then you just jack it up with the balance
Yeah,
again. Yeah.
no, I don't like to play that game. I'll usually
Remix.
just add tap water.
Okay, you cut it.
Yeah, and I'll be like, all right, well, they're getting a little bit light of a
Yeah.
feed this round. They'll be all right.
All right, interesting, man. Like, so now that I'm looking at this too, I noticed I did not add my CalMag dose. I didn't even read the chart right.
Yeah. Well, now I can't comment on how that will work for you, but I know that like when I mean, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're just trying to sell it, dude." I don't have a code for Athena. I don't care if you use it or not. This is how any
Yeah, we
nutrient
don't care.
line
We're
would
talking
work.
about any nutrient line. If you're looking at the feed chart, you're going to see
Yeah.
something
They
like
designed
this.
that product to have all those work together. Now the balance I isn't 100% necessary, but or the cleanse. We've talked about that before. If you guys are never, we should get into that just briefly. I was using cleanse myself because I didn't want clogged lines, and I had mixed feelings about it because I was always constantly adding microbes, and I'm like, well, instead of fucking with cleanse, I cut it out and I just use photosynthesis plus every watering, which I was doing anyway. So it was redundant to add the cleanse. The
Yeah.
photo plus definitely cleans out the lines. Surprisingly,
Yeah, yeah.
I was skeptical.
I remember when you learned that
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
episode.
When we had him on the show, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Yeah.
"You're shitting me." So I've been adding cleanse the whole fucking time and didn't need it. But I would assume that that nutrient line would work much better with the CalMag because that's how they designed it to work.
Yes. Yeah. And again, I noticed another mistake I made as like a noob to the synthetic world is I didn't even read the feed chart right. After all that work, I thought I did. I've done it like 4 or 5 times now, and I haven't added CalMag once. So fuck me.
That's all right.
But
Now, on the bonus to that though is once you do start adding it, you'll need less pH down.
uh, cool.
Might not need
Good to
any at
know.
all.
Now, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It all depends on what
Yeah,
it ends
exactly.
up at. But like, yeah, like you said, it's kind of a you got to let the process happen and let the pH stabilize. And actually, the pen itself takes super fast readings, so
It does.
I'm happy with that. Now, let's say in like an alternate reality that one day I decide that I want to supplement some nutrition with this, blended line using the autopot setup. How does the pH like fluctuation thing work? Like, do you
I'm not sure I
find
understand your question.
so in the reservoir, right?
Yep.
When you add your pH, or I'm sorry, you add your nutrients to the res, or you make your batch and you dump it into your res, however you do it. Are you constantly monitoring the pH? Does it fluctuate at all? Like once you put
Great,
it in there?
great question, and that's kind of a loaded question because it's dependent on mostly your water quality. What kind of water you're putting into that reservoir with the nutrients. Now, yes, I monitor it, and yes, it moves, and most of the time it will go up just a little bit, which I'm perfectly fine with. You don't want to people that grow in cocoa and chase the 5.8 thing, you're fucking wasting your time. I let it go as high as 6.1, 6.2, and then usually by the time if it ever gets any higher than that, I'm mixing a new batch anyway. So
You are supposed to have your pH fluctuate. It's important for the plants to have your
thank
pH
you.
fluctuate
Thank
because
you.
they uptake different nutrients at
Yeah.
different pH
Oh
levels. So
yeah.
if you're at 5.8 all the time, it's not going to be able to flex into certain nutrients and pick up as much as they need. So you can run into deficiencies that way.
You can, but most of the time, if you keep your plants at 5.8, I'm not telling you you'll have problems. Your plants will be fine and they'll adapt to that 5.8 and figure things out. But that 5.8 is literally from like every website you've ever read. And that's what everybody else preaches with cocoa. You got to be at 5.8. You also have to have runoff with cocoa or it doesn't work. I've grown in autopots for fucking since 2016, 17 with salts and don't have runoff. And guess what? It works just fine.
It works fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And that
I've
5.8 is for cocoa, not for soil.
Yes, and I've never chased that 5.8. I always try to aim for that because I know that it's going to drift a little bit up, right? So, I'm not telling you to not get your shit to 5.8. Get it to 5.8 to start. But don't like you come back the next day and you measure it's at 5.9. Don't go adding some fucking pH down to that shit.
Yeah.
Like
An eighth of a shot glass worth.
especially that much. Yeah.
Hey,
Like I try to
Now
keep
your res is
as
at 2.9. Your plants are super unhappy.
yeah, I try to keep as little of that shit in my reservoir as possible. Like that's my goal with pH down and pH up, really. Um, I mean, even though the pH up I use is a silica based product, so it's helping to benefit the plant, I still don't want to use a ton of that shit in my res. I want a simple nutrient mixture which takes me less than 5 minutes to mix, and Photo Plus, and that's generally it. And then, as I've talked about, I have secondary reservoirs to feed organics, like compost teas, seed sprouting teas, which I've talked about,
Cool.
whatever. Because you don't want to put that shit in your regular res. You just don't.
No,
It's
I
so
don't even
easy to just
do
tee it
that.
off. Yeah, yeah, I've put organics in a res, dude. That shit gets funky quickly.
Yes, it does. I mean,
mhm.
even if you add one organic product. Okay, like this round I fucked around. I added some coconut, dried coconut powder, like from Build-A-Soil, the freeze dried coconut water
Yeah.
to the reservoir. Got funky as shit, man. After like 2 days, it started to stink. I mean, there was no like growth or anything. It just didn't really smell all that great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Organics in a res, just no go for me. No go
No,
for me.
that's a nice little 5 gallon bucket. I can fill up what I need, feed it to the plants real quick, dump it out, and kind of,
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
but
in a 20 gallon res, that shit's gonna stink up quickly. They start getting bubbly and oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I keep pretty much the only stuff that goes in my reservoir, like you said, is water, Photo Plus, little Terps Plus.
mm-hmm.
That's about it. But yeah, mate, perhaps in the future, maybe a little Athena. Now that I know the ways.
Well, it's funny that you're going to that side because all my outdoor stuff has been organic because
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
want to have yeah, well, I didn't want to have to fucking do anything because I've been super busy and
it's a lazy
just
way to
get
grow.
it, dude. It really is the lazy way to grow, and luckily ev- everything's going well. I do have a couple that need to be transplanted, um, and then the at the greenhouse spot, I decided to just forbid the greenhouse this year, and it's been, dude, I have monster fucking plants. They're the biggest plants I've ever
Yeah,
grown,
I saw
but
them.
the dude, I still have doubts about being able to fucking finish. We'll see. We've been getting a lot of rain, um,
Mm-hmm.
for these last like couple weeks, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like that's the shit that I like. This is why I like. If you got to do it, you got to tarp it, and you got to do some light depth to do it right. Or you can get stuff that finishes quicker by like a week or two, but it's not that like that's not the answer. Like everybody's like, oh, you should do stuff that finishes much quicker, dude. It isn't even about that. It really isn't. It's just Massachusetts, Northeast in general. It's a fucking crapshoot, man. It is and I didn't want to spend $300 on another disposable greenhouse because I've talked about it before. Everybody's like, oh, that greenhouse looks awesome, dude. I'm telling you right now, they don't last more than a couple months. The vinyl starts ripping apart. The frames are solid. It's like steel, and you can't just buy the shell from the company. They won't sell it to you. Shout out to Quick Tent. Go fuck yourself. Um, so you have to buy a whole new greenhouse, and then you're
Yeah,
stuck with
fuck
this.
that.
Yeah, dude. Like, how sustainable is that? So
Not at all.
I
Well,
said I wanted to build a greenhouse. It just didn't work out this year. I had a lot of shit going on, and um, I'm like, fuck it, let's roll the dice. And you know, listen, the plants are big and they look great, but I still, who the fuck knows, man. We'll see
yeah.
how it
Will,
goes.
will they finish?
Will they finish and
Let's
not have bud
tune
rot?
in next week to
Yeah,
find
it's
out.
every other year for me. Is good. So we'll see. Maybe I'm due. You know.
Hmm.
Um,
I think Mother Nature might bless you this year, dude. Who knows?
yeah, we'll see.
We're manifesting greatness.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's hope so.
yeah. So I am confident that the plants in my house in my backyard will finish because I'm not near the fucking ocean. But when you're that close to the ocean at the greenhouse spot, it just doesn't work out, man.
Yeah, you get those humid breezes. Ooh,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. Let's you want to do a Patreon garden, or you guys got anything in your gardens you want to talk about?
No, I've pretty much already been talking about the
I'd
gardens.
like to talk about myrcene.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
a little terp school.
Yeah, we're just gonna do like a quick little segment. I'm just gonna talk to you guys about terps. It's something that I feel is really missing from homegrown knowledge a lot because we really don't have a whole lot of access to a reliable way to find out what our plants are providing for us. But overall, terps are such a wonderful way to figure out if a plant is going to work for you medicinally or not. So, um,
Hell
yeah,
yeah. Let's
we're
do it.
going to get into it super quick. So,
Teaching
guys,
terps
can
with G3.
yeah. So, we're going to go over the next couple of weeks just a handful of terps, like the major ones. I'd like to cover. We're going to cover myrcene tonight, and then we're also going to talk about beta caryophyllene or beta caryophyllene, depending on how you say it, limonene or limonene, depending on how you say it, pinene, terpinolene, humulene, osmine, and linalool. So we're going to cover all of those. They're kind of the primary ones that you find. So let's talk about what terpenes are, first of all. So you may have heard me say before that in cannabis, your THC and your cannabinoids, your CBD, your CBG, your CBN, all of that is kind of like your gas pedal in a car. It's going to indicate how psychoactive it is, how much you're going to feel from it. Whereas the terpenes are more like your steering wheel in the car. They're kind of going to sway how it makes you feel. So terpenes before were very much based in how you feel, what kind of emotions and feelings it gives you. But there are more studies coming out now that are showing that terpenes do and can have a physiological effect on our bodies as well. For
Of course they
instance,
can.
Definitely.
Aromatherapy. People have been
Yeah,
selling that shit
Yep.
for
definitely.
years.
Yeah.
so like osmine has been discovered is a natural decongestant. So if you have a strain that's super high in osmine, it's going to make your nose run, which can be really good in cold and flu season or in allergy seasons, in times when you're dealing with a whole lot of snuffliness. So terpenes are volatile aromatic compounds that are found in cannabis. So there has been over 70,000 discovered in nature.
Holy shit.
Over 20,000 originate in plants. And now these can also come from all sorts of other things. It can come from fungi, it can come from insects, it can come from bacteria. Even coral produces terpenes. So
The
terpenes
best
have
terps. I'm sorry. I'm
Mhm.
sorry to interrupt. Like you're
No, I'm
talking
just gonna
terps, like
go unless you
the
stop me.
fragrance industry, like perfumes, like Eau de Toilette from France. Like it uses the strangest shit, like ambergris. You know what
hmm
that stuff is? It's like,
It's whale blubber, like
yeah,
yeah,
it's like,
whale secretion stuff.
yeah,
Blech.
yeah, whale like produced like in their gallbladder or something. Like it's
Yeah.
secretions, yeah. And like think about like skunk spray. Like the some of the strongest terps are found in animals, but like plants produce a whole shit ton of them too.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of plants can have, so most plants have less than 100 terpenes total. Cannabis has over 400 volatile compounds, and this includes terpenes, terpenoids, terpenoids are just terpenes with an oxygen molecules involved in it as
Okay.
well, and other natural flavorants. So cannabis is like super extreme into all of these volatile aromatic compounds. Some plants use them to attract scent. They're trying to find, ways to spread their seeds. Cannabis primarily uses it as defense. So that's why you have like that it just keeps plants away. I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of deer coming up and eating your cannabis plants. One of the reasons is they don't like the terpenes.
Oh, I would disagree with that one. We've at least up here, we've lost quite a few crops to the deer.
Really? I'm
Oh yeah.
fascinated to hear that.
Oh yeah. Deers love fucking weed.
Yeah,
Oh my
They
gosh,
maybe
I
there's
thought that they
certain
stayed away from them. Maybe
maybe
yeah.
there
there's
was
Maybe
at least
certain
one.
maybe
terpenes that they're attracted to, and
I
some
wonder
that.
if you had like because they stay away from marigold. I wonder if you had like marigold terpenes in your cannabis, if it would keep
so. That's actually I'm glad you
animals
mentioned
away.
those. Marigolds are one of the best defenses you can have in your gardening towards pests, especially outside, and they look awesome too. Like and they're just nice and bright. Fucking
Hmm.
keep good the bad bugs away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, It is for defense.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
But
Canada. I guess they
whether
don't do a very
it's
good job
for
against deer, but
insects
maybe.
or
Yeah, all
yeah.
sorts of things. Anything. And I mean, terpenes can stop against all sorts of things. They have a chemical component to them as well. So it is possible that they
Well,
can stop things like funguses from, certain plants are more susceptible or less susceptible
okay.
to things like mold. That certainly can be an element of the terpenes involved
All
in there.
right. So is myrcene like the most common?
It is. Myrcene is the
Number
most
one.
common number one terpene found in cannabis. So the
Okay.
chemical compound, it's a monoterpene. So what that means is it's made of two isoprene units joined together. It makes it the most simple of all of the like scent molecules. Um,
What does it smell like?
so it's like earthy and spicy. You find
Okay.
very similar things in like mangoes and lemongrass and bay. They all have very high levels of
Like
myrcene to
like
them.
bay,
Like
old
bay,
bay seasoning?
like bay leaves,
All right,
not
okay.
old bay.
Like crab fries?
No, not crabby fries. Bay leaves.
All right, cool.
Yes. So like I said, it's the most common. It has the properties most associated with it is a very sedative effect. So that couch lock feeling that you get in a lot of like your indica leaning strains, that can be due to myrcene.
Mm.
It's very relaxing. It's sedative. It's a muscle relaxer. It decreases inflammation. Myrcene also specifically decreases inflammation around your nerve endings. So if you have nerve pain of any kind, myrcene specifically can help with that.
Great. So
So, so
very
common
high pain
strains.
relieving properties and yeah.
Yeah, very. So some common strains that you can look for that have high levels of myrcene if you're looking for that type of effect: Blue Dream,
Mm-hmm.
OG Kush, Granddaddy Purple, and even some high CBD strains like Harlequin is really high in
Hmm.
myrcene itself. Um, but myrcene has been used in folk medicine for hundreds of years. They have this lemongrass tea in Brazil that's been used for decades and decades and decades.
And that has
For
a
they do
lot of
it for,
myrcene in it too.
yep, hmm
Cool.
because of the lemongrass. So that's anti-pain, analgesic,
Interesting.
anti-inflammatory. That another interesting thing. So a lot of more studies are coming out, and something that they found is that myrcene itself has anti-mutagen properties. So this is what helps stave off things like cancer.
Hmm.
So myrcene inhibits a specific enzyme, CYP2B1, which is that's super fun. It's a liver enzyme. And that liver enzyme kind of opens the door a little bit for some mRNA mutations, and this inhibits that. So kind of protects your cells, keeps them whole,
Hmm.
stops against mutation. So
Damn,
that's
isn't that
pretty
insane
cool.
that plants have that ability to like
Hmm. It also, this is also another crazy thing that I read about. That's insane. So there's something called aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are produced by fungi and they're commonly found on our food. Myrcene protects us from these aflatoxins. So
okay.
it can block these aflatoxins can cause mutation type properties, cancer problems if you eat them. And so this kind of stops that.
Holy
So
shit.
yay, myrcene.
Yeah, really.
Let's see what else I have on there. Oh, this is so cool. This blew my freaking mind. Anybody who's interested in hash, this is going to be up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
So, myrcene, if it goes through the process of photooxidation, so it's left out in the sun, out in the air, like they do when they're creating Moroccan hash, which is very different than we on the Western side. Kind of, we keep everything in the dark, we keep everything controlled. They kind of just lay shit out in the sun. That process and then the manipulation of the hash itself rearranges the molecules in myrcene, and it
Huh.
creates a new terpene called hashishinine.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not even kidding. This only exists in hash. It's the only place you can find
Interesting.
it.
And
So
And
it's
it's
like
because it's this photooxidation, like rearrangement of myrcene molecules, which is just
huh. Uh, I wonder. No, so yeah, again, like that is pretty mind blowing. I wonder if that is kind of like a type of curing process. If that happens with other terpenes, like kind of brings me back to the beginning of the episode where we're talking about the shifting of smells over the time of cure, and it just
yeah,
yeah.
it certainly can. So like which terpenes, if the terpenes are your volatile aromatic compounds and that's what you're smelling every time you open your tent, it makes sense that with time and limit to oxygen or access to oxygen,
Or even
these
manipulation we're
or
hearing now.
manipulation, these things can change.
It's
And
crazy.
that's what really happens in cure. So
Yeah, light
cool
affects
stuff.
terpenes too, like, you know. So
Hmm.
and it's like
they're volatile. They break down easily.
Yes. Yep.
and it's weird too. You know, like you compared it again like at the beginning of the episode you said grape juice and wine. Is one necessarily better than the other? Like I don't know, like sometimes you feel like drinking some fucking Welch's grape juice. You know what I mean? Like but other
Hmm.
times like that doesn't like the a situation doesn't call for that at all. You need like a nice deep dark red, like a Malbec or something like that, a Syrah. So like yeah,
Yeah, I think, I mean,
I think the way that it evolves through time, and even with certain strains are different in the way that they volatilize certain terpenes first. Now, what I'd love to know, G3, is like which terpenes are the most volatile and which off gas the first, and like which are the ones that
ooh,
tend to linger.
that's an interesting question.
Like, have we tested the same strain in the beginning of cure, and then after 6 months, and then again after another 6 months? How does that same individual plant profile change over time?
That is
Like,
an excellent question, and I don't honestly know the answer to that.
we got to get these
I'm
studies
sure there
done.
must be a change in it. I'm not sure how
I
much of
think that would be way too
one.
hard to actually quantify which, because think about it, right? I mean, like you have,
How?
well, because you have all these different terpenes, and I think that could lead to almost subjective data.
Well, if we
Um,
just got a full spread of like the breakdown of cannabinoids
I'd be willing to bet that
at
they're
different
pretty much
time
all.
intervals.
I bet you they're pretty much all the same, and that's just my educated guess. It
Hmm.
right because
I'll have
like
to look into it.
with enough temperature variance, whether it be mostly heat, but cold can also do the same thing. Um, y- Environment, like how you're storing it, humidity, right? There's so many things
It's
that can
true.
get those things to
It's
poof
very true.
off.
But
You know,
I would be interested just to see like a controlled study, assuming like we can control for temperature and humidity even and light, and make sure that that stuff stays consistent and really just I don't know about the time. Though now that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it, you might want to introduce those different variables. Maybe that affects the different like the outcome of the cure
oh yeah,
and just
I,
I'm
I
sure
think
it
you'd easily
does.
be able
which
to like
terpenes are going to
test,
be present.
like do a terpene test on it, like 6 months, a year, but then like each terpene, like how much of that, like you'd have to get the same amount of that terpene in the You know, like say it's like whatever percent myrcene. Well, now this one you want to test limonene, it has to be the same percent. Like I think that would be way too hard to of a test to try to
Mm.
quantify, right? But
Yeah,
um
I think you could do like a if you pulled a plant at harvest and did a full profile cannabinoid terpene profile then, and then, you know, 30 days into cure, 60 days into cure, or
yeah, but I'm
whatever, and
saying
just
to
compare them.
no, you but to try to each terpene, I think that would be too hard to do because I mean, there's only so many of them that are dominant. You might be able to do it with a couple of them, but think about it. Like in the just the can you think of a strain off the top of your head that you've ever seen? It's like all right, because you know how, like how fine they get with the readings on terpenes, right? It's like whatever point
Hmm.
whatever nine or 1 point whatever, right? For that specific terpene, you know, 2 point whatever percent
Hmm.
total terpenes. Like,
Hmm.
so you'd have to have an equal amount to make that test fair. Like, because this strain has, let's just use myrcene as the example. This one has 1% myrcene. Well, then the next strain you're testing, if you wanted to equal it for the next terpene, would have to have the same amount of that terpene. So would have to be 1% limonene or whatever, right? And to make it a fair test, I think it'd
Well,
be
I would
too.
figure you just take, so say I grew a granddaddy purple, right? And I'm chopping it down today, and I take a bud from that and I send it off to the lab, and it brings me back a full list of everything that's in it, all of my cannabinoids, all of my terpenes. Well, not all of my terpenes, but they give you a pretty good reading. Um, then that plant dries. After dry, I take another bud and I send that to the same lab, and they send me back the results, and I can compare those two. Same plant, just different points of its life. And then 2 weeks into cure, I can take a bud and I can send it off to the lab, and they can do the same thing. So
Okay.
yes, there would be variables to it, but you're still comparing the same
Yeah.
plant and seeing how those levels might adjust or change
Yeah, I think you could
I
get a
think
throughout the
it'd be
ballpark on
process.
it.
interesting to see.
I'm gonna have to look into it. I'm very interested
But
in that now.
yeah, terpene degradation over
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
That's that's I want to see someone write a fucking dissertation on this topic at some point in the near deregulated future. All
Yeah.
right, here we go. I
So
see you. I'm sorry.
I have one more thing just to
Yep.
mention, just because we have to talk about mangoes a little bit
Let's
because it's me.
please. Yeah.
So one of the cool things about myrcene is that myrcene in particular helps with the permeability of the blood-brain barrier, which is one of the reasons why the THC can then start to affect your brain even more. So myrcene really helps with the psychoactivity of the plant itself. Um, there is some level of bro science to saying if you eat mangoes, that it helps make your high better. And the theory behind this is that mangoes help with the permeability of your blood brain barrier, and therefore more
Okay.
THC is able to reach it. However, just because that happens theoretically to be true, like it's not going to make that big of a difference. You're going to get way higher effective myrcene from cannabis itself than from actual mangoes. So, an average cannabis strain, there's about 2 milligrams of myrcene per quarter gram. It's what Google says. So, um, a whole mango is 0.086 milligrams. So there is a
Hmm.
23 times difference between an actual mango and the cannabis plant itself. So
I
don't fuck
see.
around eating mangoes. It's not going to do anything for you. Just smoke something with a lot of myrcene first.
Yeah, but do you think that you get the full effect of that smoking it or eating it? Like, because now I wonder, right? Like
Well, I think for the myrcene, in order to get into your bloodstream, in order to affect your blood brain barrier, you'd have to eat it, has to go into your stomach, has to be digested, and then that goes into your bloodstream. Versus
the instant
smoking
gratification.
it
Yeah.
goes almost directly from your lungs into your blood. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
I would think that it would be a lot faster
Yeah.
Oh
with
yeah.
smoking it and with also the higher concentration of myrcene.
Well, there are a lot of people that have been
Total.
trying to preach like the eating mangoes after you get high thing.
I mean,
Um,
mangoes are great for a lot of other reasons.
yeah,
They're a
They're
great
just
snack. They
delicious.
hydrate you. They're
They're
delicious. Like,
delicious.
eat
Speaking of
mangoes for the joy of
mangoes,
eating mangoes, not because they'll make you more high.
when Mont's is gonna get a bottle in the mail real soon. It's got some mangoes and some
ah, I
habaneros,
can't wait to try
some
that.
Ooh.
onions and some bell
Ah,
pepper, and I charred them and blended them and added some vinegar and made a little sauce for you, man.
I can't
Nom
wait to
nom
try
nom.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna pour
It's
that shit
probably
on
got a lot
everything.
of myrcene in it.
Okay, I like it
It's
spicy too, so I'm hoping
spicy
it's
as
gonna.
fuck too,
Ah,
boy.
perfect, man. Yeah.
But
Mm-mm.
G3, thank you. Honestly, that was like I feel
Quick
like
and dirty.
I feel like equipped with the knowledge of myrcene now. Like been given a gift tonight.
Yeah. And not all mango specific strains are, I mean, yes, they can be high in myrcene, but like take Mango Smile, for example. If Mango Smile was just myrcene, it would knock you out. It would make you go to sleep. You'd be couch locked in the couch, you know? This,
Yeah, but
but
that's a
Mango Smile is
sativa.
different.
Yeah.
It's a sativa. So there are other terpenes that play in there.
It's the whole
Um,
cocktail
Exactly. That
effect.
whole entourage
Like
effect. So you've
you
probably
ever
got some terpinolene or some limonene or something in
a
there
lot
to
of
get you
limonene.
upbeat.
A lot of limonene.
Yeah.
I bet. Now, you ever smoke like diamonds? Just like
Yes.
straight up THC?
Yeah, with no
Mhm.
flavor.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, I
How
think it's
high'd you
the
get?
dumbest fucking thing ever.
It's stupid.
Sorry. I mean, look, I'll smoke. I'm not gonna like turn it down, but unless you're mixing that with some sort of like terp sauce or something, because usually
Just
those go
yeah,
together.
like how medicated did you feel after you smoked
It gave me a
diamonds?
I don't know.
headache.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
If
It's
I
if
hard to
think
yeah,
say.
if I'm doing just straight
it was
THC like
just like
distillate, it gives me a headache.
I don't even know if I felt anything.
Yeah, I don't see. It's the same thing with like distillate carts. Like I don't feel like I don't know. I think I it's pointless to me, man. It's like, yeah, you might feel a little something, but probably lightheaded because you just cut off oxygen to your
Yeah,
brain. Like,
like G3, so you just get a little like foggy vision, a little headache. But you gotta have the terps. The terps are really what like that's the whole medical part, the medicinal part of the plant are the terpenes. Really, the THC is the gas pedal, like you said. You know,
Mhm. It's great.
terps
THC is fun, and THC
do it
has a
all.
lot of good things, but there's so much more.
Do it all.
So much more. Both terpenes and cannabinoids.
Indeed. Well, thank you. Am anticipating this entire series now.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna do either beta caryophyllene or limonene next. So if you guys have
Cool.
a preference, let me know in the Discord, and I will. We'll go with that.
Wow. We are continuously learning of new ones too. Like I told you before the show, I heard of this one the other day called Valencine or Valencine.
Valencine.
They're
I
all
wonder
like,
if it's like Valencia oranges.
yeah. That's the only thing that came to my mind too.
yeah,
But for some reason, I thought there was another one that was very. I guess limonene is the one that's citrusy, but that's more like lemon lime, not like the specific orange
It
terpene.
totally
Has got to
depends.
be something.
It
Maybe it's
completely
that.
depends. Yeah.
Maybe it's that one. Valencine. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's all like all this stuff. The scent science, the science of smells, is what like chemistry majors do after college.
Yeah.
Very, very chemistry related, and it's interesting stuff though.
Yep. So some people they say that terpenes are like essential oils. They're not. Um terpenes are like the ingredients that go into essential oils. In fact, cannabis extracts, so when you're pressing cannabis and you're getting your rosin, or if you're extracting and you're getting resin, those are essentially essential oils. They're just the essential oils of cannabis.
They certainly are essential.
Well, cool, cool. Very cool, G3.
Yay, chemistry. Yay, the plant. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
really.
cannabis is so
It's
fascinating and it has so much to offer us.
And we have so much to learn still.
what's
Like,
amazing. Yeah, is that how much there is to know, how much we don't know, and also like the seemingly never-ending potential of terpene combinations that you can get from this plant. I mean, we've talked about every different type of scent profile on this show, from like meat to fruit to spice to chem to sour.
like for instance, like the George's root beer. I can't even tell you what that is. I've never really tasted anything like it. It's kind of weird.
It
And
is. It's
but
totally unique.
I enjoy it, and we should probably have to, because I ain't sending any of mine, and I'm running low. We're gonna have BGG send in a sample, get a terpene report on that. But yeah, man.
Yeah, how it makes some of these smells, it's just like there was an extract that I got the other day that was very like fishy smelling, like low tide fish.
It's a smell I
I
know
don't
well.
know what terpene that would be.
Now listen,
I
I'm
have
gonna be honest with you. There ain't
Low
many that
tidaline.
I can't think I've heard of one that I want to stay away from, but that's it. Like
ugh, it
you
was
can you can say pure Michigan is offensive, but that sounds offensive to me, and
it
I'm all
it
set.
yes, offensive. I wouldn't even touch it. I was like, no, thank you.
You'll have to
Total
find out what
waste.
that is. So I'm not because I'm intrigued. I would never fuck with it, but I'm intrigued. You know, it's like I want to know more.
Yeah,
I bet
it
you
just
I got a buddy that would like that shit.
and you could have two plants with very similar reported terpene profiles that smell almost nothing like each other, which is unusual as well. It's all about the combination and how that plant
Yup,
grows and the genetics of it. It's very odd sometimes.
it is.
So,
Terps are cool.
yeah. Do we have time for Patreon garden?
I don't know. That's a good
I
question.
know
But
we're running really late
you know
tonight.
what? We don't, because I do want to give them like their due. We're already at an hour 30, so we'll save it. We will save it. We got some good Patreon gardens too. So keep posting your pictures, guys. I appreciate it. It's good to have a lot of candidates to choose from before the show. But no, yeah. Let's skip that tonight and let's just go right into thanking people. We do have new Patreons.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Some of these comments are fire tonight. You guys have been cracking me up. Just so you know, I do see everything. It's not that I can't sit there and type out or respond to everything. Like we see you all. We love you
Yeah, we
all.
do. We do.
Nicholas, you're very active on that keyboard. We appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man.
He's always got something to say,
Mhm.
which I like.
Yep. We appreciate all you guys tuning in live. It means a lot.
Yeah, so much.
All right. So if I click on audience, okay, there we go. Again, Patreon's the strangest thing ever. All right. Let's thank Mikey
Shout out to Mikey. Thank you, Mikey.
Thanks,
and
Mikey.
Uncle Bob.
Oh,
Good
thanks,
old
Uncle
Uncle
Bob.
Bob.
I had an Uncle Bob. For real, though. Taught
Did
me
he
how to
touch
throw a
you?
curveball. No.
He's not
Taught
one
me
of
how
those
to,
uncles.
taught me how to drink shots of whiskey
Nice. It's a
and
good
throw a
Uncle Bob.
curveball.
Perfect.
But yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate you both. If you don't have your own Patreon gardens in our Discord yet, come ask us. We'll set you up with one.
Yep.
And that gives you the opportunity to get rated live on the show.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. We're gonna raid that garden. Show your pics.
That's right.
And if for listen, we're gonna just put this out there. We should, if you do not want us to show your garden, you gotta tell us ahead of time because otherwise, we're showing that shit off.
Yep.
And
No
I
holds
mean,
barred.
look, at this point, if you're putting it out for other people to see, we're putting it out for other people to see. So let's do this.
Once you post online, it's public.
That's all right.
Well, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot one Patreon. Death Index.
Thank you.
Thank you, Death Index.
Index. We appreciate your help,
I like that name.
sir. Yeah, I wonder what it means. Who knows?
You'll find out when the Reaper comes.
Maybe he is deaf. But then again, how would he be listening to the podcast?
Closed
Captions.
captioning.
Yeah, do they do that?
I'm not sure. I think we might have to do something on our end for that. I don't know. Maybe. I'm sorry. You know, I have no idea.
I think they do
probably
that
should.
now. Like, it auto generates like a script, not a script, but
Yeah, like the transcription of
yeah,
it.
transcription.
That's the
Exactly.
word he was looking for. Yep.
Yes. But I don't know if it does closed captioning, but would be cool. Guys, no show next week. I'm on vacay.
He
My
will be
birthday.
sailing the seas.
Arr.
I'm turning 40. I hate to admit that, but it's true. So,
What day do
going
you
on
get back?
vacay to lessen the blow. Getting back next Friday.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I leave this coming Saturday. I come back Friday. So
all right. So the Patreon live last Friday of the month might get shifted, or are we doing it when you get back?
I'll probably be here.
You're gonna be so exhausted.
Stay tuned. No, it's just travel. It's all good. I'll probably be in the mood for it, to be honest. So, no, it's on for now.
All right. So
Unless-
if you're a Patreon,
Unless you hear
keep
from me.
your eyes and ears open.
For
for
sure. Yeah, I'll set up an event
next Friday.
in Patreon. We'll be there. But yeah,
Sounds good to
again,
me.
yeah, the Patreons. You'll get some extra episodes coming your way. Not extra episodes. They're like something different. You know what I mean? It's just extra content.
More
coming your
access, I guess.
Trying to do more shit for you. So
We get a little more unmasked. In those.
that's right, and unglassed, if I recall correctly, unhatted. But
Yep.
So, quick update for the Patreons as well. I mentioned on Discord about a second breeder participating in the drop. So, if you listen to the show, you probably already picked up on this if you're smart, but it's Green Guy Genetics, Big Green Guy. He's got something special for us along with
yeah?
some stickers. Yep. So
Really special.
I
yeah,
can't wait.
this drop's gonna be fucking fire for you guys. You're gonna get some
That's
fire
cool.
beans from Outcast and BGG all in one shipment. So I hope you're happy. You sick son of a bitch.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's
You'll take
they
it and
they
you'll like
will
it.
be. They will be. I promise. Like some of the stuff we've been getting too is like the one from Alabrije, I remember was Patreon exclusive. Like he didn't release it anywhere else. Just cool to get stuff like that, you know?
Yep.
So
This
I
one
think-
is
I think
actually a
this is one
Patreon
of those.
exclusive bean as well
Yeah.
from BGG. So
Only place to get them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, we appreciate all your help and we're trying to give back. Again, we're giving, you're giving it to us, and then we're giving back. It's just an endless cycle of reciprocal appreciation. So, we love you. We love you guys.
we do.
And I love you both, Monster G3.
Right back at you,
I'll
dude.
see you after a week. of sailing the seas, like you said.
Arr.
Yeah,
Be safe.
I will. You know I will.
Don't make bad choices.
Dude, that's my wife says that to me every time I leave the house.
Nothing.
Stop.
I will
Well,
Women.
pretend like I got like a monster on one shoulder and a G3 on another shoulder,
Yeah. Do it. Do it.
telling me, like guiding
Yeah.
my actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
most importantly, don't get caught.
You said it. Now I don't need to. Thank you. But
Yep.
no,
But
really,
everybody
really,
out there too.
but really, don't get caught.